This is Clarence Waldron, and you're at Black Muse channel on YouTube. Tonight, we have the very great Tony Award-winning actress, Ms. Melba Moore. And we're gonna sit back and just reminisce about the good old days and all of that. I've known her for a long time, and she's been very gracious with her time with us today. So here we go, let's get started. Melba, what have you been doing in the midst of this pandemic?
Trying not to eat.
Okay, yeah.
Every 2 seconds, I want to go to the refrigerator or the microwave or to the restaurant or something. But no, I've really been trying to refocus, taking the opportunity to see, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do. Okay, well, what can I do? And what's safe to do? Because as you're listening to the news, some people are saying, oh, we're taking down this restriction. We can go here. Oh, we got this vaccination. Come on and take it. Everybody's going to be fine. So I'm watching everything very closely. I'm learning maybe to scrutinize a little bit better. I think we as artists, and we've always had to be discerning. If it's for a manager, if it's for a song, if it's for a record company, because you're the product. And so you have to kind of figure out how you're going to allow yourself to be used. When I say be used, I want to be used, but I don't want to be misused. And now, if you don't make the right decision, you could lose your life. So I take it very, very seriously. I think I've always been an introspective person, but take it very seriously. And now that I've been in my vocation, entertainment, for over 40 years, a lot of things are kind of coming back to me. Everybody's in this together. So I'm getting response from people doing this, doing that. I'm saying, that one has a podcast. They can't even say the ABCs. I don't think I want to be on that show. Clarence Waldron? Oh, journalists. And he got passed. And so I would say, gee, he's been around for a while, but you know, everything all ain't bad, etc.
Okay, but now in the midst of all this, you have found time to make some new music for us, your public. So tell me about the song Just Being Me.
Just Doing Me.
Yes.
Well, I did it before the pandemic, but I've been in transition for quite some time. I guess many of us have. I mean, because you're on visual here now, Clarence. You know that you were a great journalist, but it was written, and you were what can I say? You know, ahead at the top of that industry, because especially for Black people, there was no written public industry. There was Jet. And there was Ebony. So you were at the beginning, and you at one time were the only one. So you, since the internet came in, that's been about 20 years now, right? So,
yes.
But since this part of it has continued to sharpen and transition, I've been making those transitions because things happened in my life personally. So I didn't have my old management. I didn't have my old marriage. For a while, I didn't even have my daughter. But So I had to figure out, okay, well, I'm not a business expert. I don't know about that. Now I have to learn the business. What does that consist of now? And of course, it's always changing. And so the music that I made maybe a couple of years ago, but we didn't use all of it. I had an album out of some of it called Forever, Moore. And I have that because of George Pettis, wonderful, wonderful musician from Texas. And we met through someone else. That didn't work out, but we became closer. And so we began to work directly. And he brought me to his, everybody's got a home studio now, but you remember when they had, for a while we went through the transition where they had them in their trunks.
You were funny.
I know, but I don't know, that's just how it is, Clarence. But we've been transitioning for quite some time. And so some of these songs I had, and just being me, no, just doing me. I don't know my own song, but just doing me has been in the can for a little while. And so what happened was, it was we gave it to, when I say we, George, my manager, Ron Richardson, gave it to Terry Hunter, who's a very, very important DJ and mixer. Now, that's been in transition too for quite some time. Now, we can think about disco and DJs back in the time when I had You Stepped Into My Life back in the 70s, but it's not the same thing today, okay? So Terry took this song, he remixed it, but now Terry has his own following. There's a whole genre that they have created out of not just disco or dance music, but house music. I'm telling you all this because Terry took this song, and DJs are not only mixers, they're arrangers. So they, of course, changed the tempo because there's a certain tempo for house music. But they changed quite a few things in it to the point where when they presented it, and they actually took and they put it out. And so by the time I heard it, it was already being played. And I saw somebody roller skating to it and everything. I said, oh, wow, I like that. Who is that? I didn't recognize it. It was so fresh and so different sounding to me than anything that I had done before. I didn't recognize it. So it's fresh and new, but we've been transitioning so long until we're right on time for everything that's coming out now. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. So now who wrote the words to the song?
The words were written, and that's important. Angela Pettis is George's wife, but they work as a team, good husband and wife team. Mm-hmm. And when I first heard the song, one of the reasons I didn't recognize that it was me was the nature of the lyrics. Nobody else can do me better than I can. I said, that sounds kind of arrogant, you know? But of course, nobody else can do you better than you. But she wrote that lyric. And then after I saw it, I had to hurry up and put out a video because everybody was putting their videos out to it because I feel like they were just doing them. And that was the spirit of it. I said, oh, that's the new me. Okay. I said, this beautiful long legged woman, she was in some inner place, you know, it wasn't a big roller skating rink, but she was roller dancing. I said, wow. I could see the spirit of the song and the freshness and how everybody could take it and make it theirs. And what, I guess a powerful thing, house music, house dance, dandra music can be for people to express themselves. And then it really presented himself because we were all shut in and shut down. We didn't have a lot to do. So we would go to these things just to look at them. And then there it was. So I think I was at the right place at the right time. And thank goodness, if I had written a song for me, because I didn't see that side of me, that's why we need other people. You need family members, you need other people to see the parts of you that you can't see. That's how they saw me. So now I got a hit, okay?
Okay, that sounds great. Sounds great. But the lyrics that I like the most are really powerful. And it sounds like you. I think that you probably wrote this yourself. The Lord has brought me a mighty long way. never lost my voice, never lost my health, never lost my praise, still doing me. That wore me out.
Well, me too, because I heard the song and it was going along, and all of a sudden it breaks down, and here's a testimony.
Yes.
And see, you know what, Clarence, that really is me. So I forgot about it.
Mm.
The way things have moved and changed, even if I did it on tape and stuff, I never thought they would keep that. I'm sure I didn't think that. I'd just be doing that.
Right.
But
Right.
that's me.
Well, it works. It works. It works. Yeah. Now, will there be an album coming up, or is the album out now?
I'm told that they're going to be first an EPK. Is that how you say it?
Yep. EPK. Yes. I like talking to you.
I'll get this thing in about 100 years, I think.
Okay.
EPK,
Yes.
because
Yes.
they want to do a remix on a whole new thing on Standing Right Here, which has been a very, very wonderful standard for me, written for me, especially for me by Gene McFadden and John Whitehead. But they're going to do it all. What is it? My daughter said it's an EP, not an EPK.
Oh, the EP. Okay.
Ask nobody like you, Clarence.
Okay. I don't know why you did.
I
don't know why you did. All right. EP, y'all. Got it.
So I know they want to do a whole redo of Standing Right Here, which has become a standard for me. And as I was saying, it was written especially for me for Gene McFadden and John Whitehead. And there are a couple of other songs that they want to do to present an EP for the summer, not an EPK.
Right.
So that'll be coming shortly.
Okay, good enough. Now, this weekend, the Aretha Franklin miniseries will premiere. Will you watch that?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That's the queen. I don't care if I think it's good, bad, or indifferent. That's history. And it's new history, because, you know, there was a time we didn't have stories made about us anywhere, unless it was Jet or Ebony. Excuse me.
Right. Exactly.
So we are rewriting the narrative. Absolutely, I want to see it. Yes.
Yeah. It reminds me the last time that we were together actually was at Aretha's Christmas party in Detroit.
Oh.
Yeah. Last time, and I heard you perform and all that. So yes, indeed. Yeah. Now, what was the connection between the song "Lean on Me" and Aretha Franklin? Is there a story behind that song?
She recorded "Lean on Me" first. That's where I first heard it.
Oh, okay.
And I'm a die-hard fan. I know the world is. I'd get in line to see her.
Okay. All right.
And so I just love the song with the words, and of course her singing of it. But I wanted to sing it because the words meant so much to me. And so I developed my own style of it. And when I got a chance to meet Van McCoy, who wrote it, I made him do my arrangement of it. So I was right. That was my rendition of "Lean on Me," but my inspiration came from Aretha.
Oh, got it. Now,
But
also,
I tried hard, Clarence, because I knew I couldn't sing it like her, anything like her. So I had to develop a way. I mean, I felt pressed and moved to just keep trying to sing until something came out that was something.
Yeah.
So,
well, it definitely works. It definitely works. Now, did you also do backup for Aretha and Johnny Mathis? Is that correct?
In recording studios, yeah. I never worked live with them, but I did some songs that I'm sure that they recorded. Yeah, I don't remember all of the songs because I was a backup studio singer. I got into the industry that way with Valerie Simpson and Nick Ashford. That's what they used to be doing. And they gave me my first work in industry that way.
Okay, got it. Now, when I look at your extraordinary career, you've done Broadway, you've done the records, the record charts, you've done TV, TV specials and miniseries and all that. Is there one that you prefer more than the other?
I wouldn't say prefer, but I think music is my center, it's my base. And I think when I do that right, the others blossom out. It's like a good tree, you get good roots and good soil and good nurturing. it might blossom a whole lot of different fruits. I think if I keep steady with that, I will always have a chance to have a fresh start or to go into another direction. So I don't choose one over the other, but I think music is my center.
Okay, it's your center. All right, good
So.
enough. Yeah, yeah. Let's go way back to this musical called Hair. How did that come about? I mean, because you were the first Black to replace a white actress and all of that. Tell us about that, please.
Well, it was a recording session. Once again, it was one of those recording sessions where I was doing backup with Nick and Val and maybe 3 or 4 other background singers that was on it. It was a big session, but it was being done. The lead performer was Galt McDermott. He was a great keyboardist, but he also wrote the music for the Broadway musical Hair. And he was being accompanied by the 2 book writers, Jim Rado and Jerry Ragnew, who were also the 2 male leads, Berger and Wolf. And they were accompanying him to do this recording session, but they were real hippies. And I remember the background singers and us was looking at them real strange because Jim Rado, he didn't have on no shoes, Clarence.
No shoes?
And we was in New York. He didn't have no shoes, and he had on a t-shirt that looked like his mother forgot to tell him to separate the colors from the whites in the laundries. And he said it was tie-dye. And he had these faded out jeans, and on his back left cheek, it was ripped. You could see his skin.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but his hair, he had this bright red, bushy, curly hair. You could see it wasn't an afro because you could see he was white and was curly. It wasn't bushy, but it was out there. It looked like his fingers were still stuck in a live plug, like boing, oing, 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 like that, right? So at some point in the session, he walks up to me and he asked me, would I like to do hair? I said, excuse me, I do not have a Bachelor of Arts in music to do nobody's hair. And he explained to me that it was going to be a Broadway show because I had never even seen a theatrical play. I knew nothing about theater. So, but it had been at the Cheetah and several other places. I think, I forget the name of that theater downtown in the East Village. So a lot of people, especially theater people, knew about it. So he assumed that I did. And I thought he was talking about being a hairdresser. I didn't know. I mean, he expressed to me that, well, all of us, that they were still looking for strong singers. And he thought my personality was interesting. So he invited us, to say the least, he invited us to come down and sing for the producers and the directors. And if they said so, that we would be invited to be in the production of the Broadway musical Hair. That's how I got into the show. I went down and sang for them.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
And in the show, I was featured in a parody, a little joke that was done on the Supremes, where 3 Black girls stood in this sequin dress, but it was one dress, but you didn't know it. And we came out this high, above your head winch that rolled out. And all of a sudden, at a certain point, we all burst out and you could see it was one dress. And so everybody laughed because it was supposed to be a joke, supposed to be a parody. But it was a very important part of the show. And that's the reason I was hired. And I did other, different featured things in the play. But eventually the female lead left. And I'm going to tell you who she was in a minute, but I got to set it up the right way. And they kept having these people replace the lead that they weren't happy with, and they kept firing them. So the same black girl that played Abe Lincoln, she had a big mouth, by the way. She said, I thought you said this was open and free. How come you don't let a Black girl audition for the lead? You always have blonde-haired, blue-eyed people. They said, well, we just didn't think of it. I guess they said, we're white. Why would we think of that? But so no, it'll be open. So she said, why don't you let Melba audition for it? I don't know why she picked me, but she did. I mean, well, she, supported me. So anyway, I auditioned for it, and they put me up in one of the matinees, and I got the female lead. But Clarence, in so doing, I became the first Black actress to replace a white actress. And guess who the lead was who left?
I think that I know.
Well, I'll say Diane Keaton.
Yes, yes, yes,
And
yes.
she let me go with Woody Allen, who I think the play that he was doing at the time was Play It Again, Sam. But from there on, he took her into the movies and she became the big movie icon that she's become.
Right. Wow. 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 So
That's a lot of good luck.
Yeah. But you look at the historic value in that story, in that experience for you. I mean, the first Black to replace a white woman, that was a big deal back then.
Yeah, it's probably still a big deal. You don't just interchange. I mean, not just because of racism, but normally there's a reason why a person is picked for the culture that they are, for whatever the role is. It's not just automatically interchangeable. So that's an unusual opportunity. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So then came Pearly about a year later, right? Maybe 1970. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were the first Black actress to win a Tony Award for Best Featured Actress in a Musical.
I'm told I was.
What is that about? How does that make you feel?
Well, all these years later, now that I have an opportunity not to be scared all the time, you're in these new territories. I never studied acting. I hadn't gone to the theater. The way things happened for me was always I was always in shock. I didn't know what a Tony Award was. I never heard of it. I heard of Grammys. Every Black person has.
Okay. Shoot that.
You know, and we didn't get that easily or overnight.
Right.
So I realize now, I hate to be very colored, but God had his hand on me.
Okay. Yes, he did. And as we say, he still does.
Tell the story, I really didn't know the ropes. I didn't know the way that I was going. And I would go and try something, it would work out, and then something else would happen and it would turn into something else. And in some cases, like I didn't have a manager because I was trying to plan, but I didn't know what to do. There was no one to guide me that way. So I lost everything. And I've lost it several times. But like I said, I never lost my voice. I never lost my praise. So he keeps giving it back to me.
There it is. There's the key right there. Yeah. Now this is the Black Muse video podcast. So I've got to ask you this. Who inspired you? Who made you want to sing? And then who made you want to continue to sing as the years went by? Some of the legends and all that.
Well, first of all, with my mother, because she was a professional singer. And so there was professional music in my home. My stepfather, whom she married, they worked together as a music group, first as a duo, and then they added bass, drums, and guitar. And so they would rehearse in the house. Also, for the first time, I had a family. My original family was my grandmother who had strokes and she didn't speak. And my mother was gone all the time because she was a single parent, because my natural father was a band leader, but they really didn't have a relationship and they didn't marry. So I didn't have a father there. And the reason I'm sure I got the Tony Award for Lutie Bell Gussie Mae Jenkins, because my nanny who actually raised me was Lula Hawkins from the backwoods of South Carolina. She was an orphan. She was illiterate. So that's who I talked like. Of course, I went to Catholic school and I lived on 108th Street, Central Park West, so I talked like that too. But that's typical of many Americans. America is a place of immigrants. We come from somewhere else. And of course, us Africans come from all over different places of Africa and the West Indies and other places too. So we have that multicultural. What was the question?
Oh, who were your inspirations?
Okay, I was going back to that because I don't want you to think it was just a normal, uneventful growth process that happened. Sure. So I guess I'm trying to say too that in the beginning, for the first 9 or 10 years of my life, there was no music in my world because Mama Lou did a lot of things, but she didn't sing. Mother did was gone all the time. So not only did I have no music or no mentor for that in my life, my mother was gone. So I was really more like Mama Lou in terms of being closer to being an orphan than being part of a family. That's important to your grooming. When she married my stepfather, now I have he had a daughter and a son. So now I have a sister and a brother. That was first a brand new world. So,
I'm sure.
and so my stepfather made us all learn how to play the piano. You got to practice the piano. You got to get involved with that. That's like becomes like another person to you, this music. And of course, music was the center of our lives. They rehearsed music. Mother and daddy lived and breathed music. They didn't never talk about nothing else. But then, Clarence, they told me to get a real job.
Okay. You get a real job. Okay.
You could probably understand what I'm saying. Being artists, there's no stability. Well, there is stability, but we don't know about it. If we know about artistry, it usually came to us naturally from our environment, but we don't know about business.
Right.
And we know how unfair and uneven everything is if you're Black.
Right.
So they said, we've had too much of a hard time. We don't want it to be so hard for you. So we started studying music. Once it was time to go to, by the time I went through, finished elementary school and spent all the time I did with my mother and my father, singing at home and being involved with music and playing the piano, I found out I had a little voice. Well, we all could sing though, And by junior high, you're in the chorus and the choir, and you have talent shows, and you have a lot of experiences that make you see, oh, they think I'm something special here. And then by the time I got to go to high school, I didn't want to go to a regular high school. I'd heard about arts high school. So I said, oh, you could go there if you get in and you can major in music. So that's what I did. I went there and I majored in vocal music. Went there, and then, okay, now, listen, you guys, my parents, you got to go to college. You got to finish getting your education. So of course, we were the first in our families to get our higher education, a college education. So I went to Montclair University, majored in music education, vocal education, minored in piano, and taught music first. And so that's how. Now, what was the question again? Who was
your inspirations?
My inspirations. Okay, so by that time I learned the piano. So my inspirations were piano players like Horace Silver or Dave Brubeck. People who really could play. I was trying to play their licks and stuff. That's all I listened to. Of course, you can't escape people like Sarah Vaughan, but you also can't escape people like Ruth Brown and our blues singers, on AM radio, and you can't escape people like B.B. King. I knew I couldn't sing the blues, but we have such a rich heritage. So I was influenced by so much of that. And I'm going to tell you something, you cannot escape Ella Fitzgerald. And I'm going to go on and on and on. I'm going to ask you, Clarence, as you're a journalist and you might know, even though you're not a musician, do you know the song Airmail Special?
Airmail Special? No.
I bet you do. Listen.
Think so?
Listen. You know it, don't you?
Yes.
That's Ella Fitzgerald's Airmail Special. But see, it don't have no lyrics.
Oh, okay. Yes, I know that.
I gave you that example to show you how deeply impressed we were with the musicians around us.
Wow, very good.
Ooh, there's many more. I mean, it was Betty Cart. There's so many.
Wow.
And I'm going back toward that beginning of it. And then if I go down further, I mean, okay, you want to talk about somebody, what about Miss Beyonce? How is she going to get up and sing like that and twist her legs around like a doggone pretzel at the same time? I mean, we have incredible artists. And I know they're not, all the best ones are not just Black, but we've got some incredible ones.
We do.
Then I've been listening to a young lady, seems like she plays every instrument in the world called her.
Oh, yes, yes.
You can't even, you're a journalist and you can't even think of them all.
Yeah, yeah, there's too many.
What about the young lady that just played Billie Holiday? What's her name?
Andre Day. Oh my God, watch out.
And then I saw her on one of the Grammy shows, and she looked like if she wanted, she could play football. Strong, you know, not just beautiful and everything. An incredible actress, because like, to me, she became Billie Holiday.
Yeah, she did. It was very, very powerful. Wore me out. I gotta see it again. I gotta watch it again.
And of course, the concept was Lee Daniels. So what about our filmmakers now?
Yeah, yeah. No, Lee and Tyler Perry.
You know, back in the days of the beginning of Jet and Ebony and all that, we didn't have these opportunities or even anywhere to study to bring out that kind of genius that we have the ability now. We're in a new renaissance, I think, now.
We really are.
And maybe because of the COVID.
Maybe.
I think it's a mistake to try to shut a Black man down. Because if he busts out on you, I mean, because like, what about D Nice? Did you see his work?
Not recently, no.
Okay,
no.
Because the important thing is when everything was shut down, he started with old school music and drew people into it. And there was nothing else to do, not only nothing else to do, but it was depressing and repressive. And so he joined people and gave them a distraction or something really to come together for. But he developed that into something where he had people out on the lines voting, listening to him, encouraging them to go out. And you know, that's been more important this year than ever in our American history. And I'm saying that to say, when God gives us a power like this, and we have something that is going to kill hundreds of thousands of people, when you talk about shutdown, and we can use just one little thing to give us some hope to hold on to the next moment, to the next moment, to the next moment. We done won. Excuse me, in my humble opinion. That's my opinion.
All right. Very well, very well. Let's move on to this. You made reference to Ebony and Jet. So you were on the cover of Jet in 1990 when you did Lift Every Voice and Sing. Got all the stars together for that. So what was that like for you to be on the cover of Jet magazine, which is a big deal, but just, I want to hear from you. What was it like for you to be on the cover of Jet magazine?
Well, I don't think it was the first time.
No, it was not. It's the first time that, first time that I was there.
Who was the movie?
Yes.
Of course, it's always exciting because everybody don't get the cover of Jet, let me put it that way. But it was particularly exciting because of my having participated in getting Lift Every Voice and Sing entered into the congressional record officially on record as our national anthem. How can you be every nation's got a national anthem. Everybody had a national anthem except African Americans, because it's the racism and the hatred and the degradation is systemic, and we're still, of course, fighting it. So one of the things that you have to do is you have to become official and on record. That's why voting in Congress and the Senate and everything is so important, because even if it's wrong, if you can make it in a law, you can get some kind of support to enforce it. So it's a law that we are a nation. We are African Americans. And God made it so we got a song to identify it, like songs identify everything. Songs, music changes the environment. But you know it does.
Yeah.
I'm just saying what we observe. You give me a chance to say it.
Yeah.
So that's what it means. And you were the official representative of African Americans, Jet and Ebony. Well, the most popular one, in most cases, the first one. So that's what it means to be on the cover of Jet. It means you are official. You are on record, on the record that everybody recognizes and accepts as official.
Wow.
But I'm right, right?
Yeah, you're right. That's it. Wow.
Because I could be hyping, but I'm not.
But you're not. let's go to your music, to your hit songs. You've had a long string of hit songs. You Stepped Into My Life. You know, I Got Love for Pearly, and a duet with Freddie Jackson and all that. Do you have a favorite? And there's so many more now, but do you have a favorite?
You know, they're all really different, and I have a diverse audience. And so if I've taken care of myself and I'm in good voice and I can holler and scream and jump around and everything, then that's my favorite. But I think
Okay.
I think the song that might be my favorite, because it doesn't matter if people know the song, they don't have to be Black. They don't have to be mature. They don't even have to understand the lyrics. They usually are impressed with it, is Lean on Me.
Okay. Okay. That is all. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, your daughter, who we sort of met earlier in this broadcast, has she shown any interest in this crazy music business at all?
She loves the music business. She likes the business aspect of it. And since everybody's been kind of shut in or sequestered or what do you call it? Quarantined. We've been
Quarantine, yeah.
We've been quarantined, so we don't give nothing to nobody that they don't want. She's been assisting me and like kind of reworking what she wants to do in her own businesses. And so she's reevaluating that. But in the meantime, she's basically helping me manage my business. I have a wonderful manager, Ron Richardson.
Very good guy. Yes, very good guy.
Yeah. So she's assisting me in making the transition and maybe seeing where she wants to go further on in her areas of business. There's a couple of areas that she likes, but you know, some things were shut down for her too. So we have to make some reevaluations. But in the meantime, she's seeing me and this part of the industry in a totally different way than she has. She was always in the industry with myself and my husband on our Hush Productions as a child. But as an adult, she's taken her own path. So she's got but it's going to be in the business aspect. She's not really interested in the singing or the performance part of it. She's interested in the business part.
Okay, cool. So Melba, here you are now, after all these years, all this, so many accomplishments. What's the key to your staying power, to your longevity? Because you're still active, you're still here, you're still relevant.
The main thing, Clarence, you have to stay healthy. Because you're the instrument. You too, not just me. I mean, you got to, you know, you've been helping to tell the story. You're the journalist, you know. So you got to watch your diet. I think the food industry is changing tremendously, especially since the pandemic. I've never seen so many vitamins on the supermarket shelf and so many healthy snacks, not just potato chips and tortillas and you know, things that have a lot of starch and corn and sugar, but no nutrition. And of course, you get really, really sensitive to that if when you eat those things, you get hoarse and you can't sing, and singing is your vocation. I'm just telling you why that's first.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. And then, you know, you have to know what's organic and what's natural. So you can't leave the creator out of it, because you're going to miss something real important if you leave God out of it, because he created it and he created for you. He wants you to be with him in this. So religion, very, very important. And then from there, he kind of shows you who and where you're going to go. So naturally, people are not last, but I can't get them first, so I'm going to make the wrong decisions about how to fellowship with them, I think. So, but I guess you go to God and everything because people really have to be first.
Okay.
So you can learn and understand what integrity is, what respect is, and that's why you study your scriptures, and you study the Moses law, and you do it so much until it comes out on your record and you don't even know you did it.
See that?
You've been giving your testimony. He has to be a habit. If he's not, then something else will be, and it will destroy before your time. That's not just my opinion. I've seen it happen. And I've seen myself lose everything to try to figure out what it is. And through going back to him and him showing me what the ABC steps are. So, oh, now I see. Okay. What he calls revelation. Now you see. And what the order should be and everything in its place. So you can have great things, but if they're out of place, they will destroy each other because the chemistry won't be right. And everything is chemistry. And on and on and on.
Right. Okay. Cool. Freddie Jackson, how's he doing? Have you seen him recently?
Freddie's doing very well. As a matter of fact, I think he's doing in some ways better than he has been. Because he's been able to kind of take a break and reassess and revalue himself. I think he looked so thin to me for a while. I'm good friends with Freddie, but I'm not close with him. I don't hang with him. But the last few times I saw him, he kind of filled out a little bit. he sounded healthier and better. And he said he was feeling better. But as far as his career is going, as far as I know, it's going very well. He's still doing everything that he wants to do. I believe he has new music out too.
Okay, good. And how about Melissa Morgan?
Melissa,
yes.
She's still running it.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know if I'm her mentor, she's mine.
Okay.
No, she's so sweet. I work with her a lot, especially in the UK.
Yes.
So we spend time together, and she's always, especially during times, well, I've had some really difficult times, but she'd always call me or make sure I had a ride or see what she could. She's always been a friend. Can I give some assistance to you, or can I help you get some work? She's been that way. That's what Melissa is to me.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So we're winding down now. What's next for Melba Moore? What else do you want to do? What's
As
coming up?
people would have said, who's zooming whom?
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
Okay.
But I mean, everything is Zoom and streaming, and you're doing everything, virtually.
Yes.
So I've had some offers to do some work, some performances virtually. I had some new music out with some other artists like Crack of Dawn from Canada. So I have a new song out called Solo Tiempo, beautiful ballad. Trying to think. Oh, there's another song called Now That You Want Me Back, kind of nice little dance song from somebody from the UK, as well as new EP, not EPK.
We learned that. We got it.
Coming up from collaborating with Terry Hunter. I may be able to do some things with some other artists too in the near future.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, we're about done over here. Anything else you would like to share? Anything I did not ask you that you want to talk about that you feel like sharing with the world?
Well, I think we covered everything, Clarence, and I just am really glad to. Since the world and the universe is in a circle, we come back around and meet each other again.
Yeah, I love it.
I hope that we have many opportunities to do it continually. That's my hope.
Yeah, same here. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it from my heart to yours. So we'll be in touch.